Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1969, something happened in Kisumu, which the Luo nation are yet to forget about. The Kisumu massacre. Again in 2023, something happened to the Luo nation, and I don't think, in my view, the Luo nation will ever forget about it. But yesterday I was listening to Kimani Ichung'wah's take in parliament, and I was shocked. Kimani Ichung'wah was literally profiling the Luo nation. I'm saying this because for any serious Kenyan who followed the events of the demonstrations, the last demonstration, then clearly the government decided in their own wisdom to target and profile the Luos. I'm saying this because if you look at the last two demonstrations, they were not really too much in the larger Nyanza. The demonstrations in Nyanza cannot be compared to what took place in Mlolongo. Never, you can't compare them. The demonstrations which took place in Nyanza here cannot be compared to what took place in Busia. The demonstrations which took place in Nyanza here cannot be compared to the demonstrations which were witnessed in Nairobi. But if you look at the number of people who lost their lives, the number of people who were maimed, majority of them were in Kisumu. And what Kimani Ichung'wah stated is basically the thinking within Kenya Kwanza.
The Speaker, because you are shouting for me not to tell you the truth, but I'll speak the truth to you. As leaders from Luo Nyanza, you must lead from the front. You must stop mobilizing your people to death. You must say enough is enough and no more bloodshed. How many liters of blood do you want? For you to be able to negotiate yourselves in power, you shall no longer use bloodshed to negotiate yourselves into power. No more bloodshed in this country to negotiate yourselves.
Order. Order, members.
And when Kimani Ichung'wah was making those statements, the Luo leaders in parliament objected. Kenya Kwanza members of parliament supported Kimani Ichung'wah. And I was asking myself where I was seated. Where were the 7 Luo rebel MPs when Ichung'wah was making this statement? Were they with the government on their side, or were they with the fellow Luos trying to defend the Luos from being profiled? Which brings me to the subject of this video. How those Azimio demonstrations have actually sealed the fate of the 7 rebel MPs from Nyanza. If you've been following the politics of this country, those 7 members of parliament, up to this stage, none of them has actually uttered a word since the ethnic cleansing took place in Kisumu. So I want us to look at how their fate have actually been sealed. But before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Without any further ado, allow me very fast to thank the following people for the coffee which I received very early in the morning. Thank you guys. And you can also do the same using the numbers on your screen. A cup of coffee only goes for 200 bob, but you can do more. Now let us dive in. When a group of goons attacked the expressway, the next day, Kipchumba Murkomen issued a statement. In his statement, Kipchumba Murkomen alleged that the cost of the destruction was around 700 million Kenya shilling, which for me was not significant. Then the next day, he also suggested that 200 million was enough to repair the roads which were destroyed during Maandamano in Nyanza. Then I asked myself, is there any single road in Nyanza which were destroyed? I want to ask anybody who knows, who can pinpoint a single road which was destroyed during Maandamano in Nyanza to let me know. Because the demonstrations in Kisumu, where I live, was peaceful. No single road was destroyed. The tires which were being burned on the road were never burned on the road. They would always find those, those spaces because the Luo nation learned very tough lessons in 2007. So they no longer destroy properties. And I want to be specific to Nyalenda because I neighbor Nyalenda here. On the day of the demonstration, Nyalenda was very peaceful. Very peaceful. That's where you would go, buy your mog or your onga, you would go buy your sukuma wiki, come back. As the rest of the town was a bit hectic. In fact, even Kondele was peaceful for the first time. Apart from, Izo Jarozao na polisi, very peaceful. So the only epicenter of Maandamano in Kisumu was in Nyamasaria. And I want you guys to pay very close attention to me. Was in Nyamasaria. For those who know the history of Kisumu, Nyamasaria is predominantly Kisses and the Luya nation. The first death which was reported in Kisumu in Nyamasaria was a man who was in some construction site. Stray bullet. He was not even part of the demonstrators, but it happened the guy was a Kissi. So I think from that moment, these guys decided that if you concentrate in this place, the people we are going to hurt were not, majority of them were not going to be Luos. So that's when they came to Nyalenda B, which was very peaceful. I want you to watch this short clip of these four men who are sitting on that chair on the road. That was just before the police came. Study what they are saying. Be your own judge whether there were any destruction. The gentleman there, the man in the middle is called Mada. I know most of you guys know him. He's a UDA person, non-UDA person. He was in Jubilee, and he's one of the guys controlling the area. So he was part of these people with the intention that nothing was going to happen in Nyalenda. They were really trying to protect that Quickmart mall. Then, from nowhere, a few hours later, police came. Be your own judge.
Katika mtaa wa Nyalenda niko na chief security hapa hivi ambaye analinda hapa area hii, na ndio maana unaona haijawaka moto. Zamani kumekuwa na hapa hivi unapata inawaka moto.
Sasa mimi ndio nilikuwa mwenye nawaka moto. Kama mimi ndio nimekataa. Hii paka na panya sisi tumejua kupiga hii paka na panya. Lakini hata hapa pia ikilipuka inalipuka mbaya kama sisi.
Kwa hivyo ni vipi sasa umefanya hapa ikuwe na
mimi nimekuwa hapa tangu asubuhi. Nilikuwa na kuja tu hapa hapa kwa barabara. Nimesema hii maandamano ya Nyalenda ya Azimio ya Nyalenda iko safi. Na iko safi sababu tuko na mesema hii area Nyalenda B Nya Central hakuna kelele.
Hakuna kelele.
Mimi ni nakaa kwa barabara.
Hata watoto wametupenda.
Na vile tunakaa kwa barabara hatutaki mwenye anaweka mawe.
Nganyo mzuri naitwa.
Mwenye ataweka mawe
hii ndio nganyo mzuri.
Nganyo mambo. Nganyo mambo. Ndio maana unaona hizi tu kwa barabara. Sio kupiga kwa barabara. Umeona mawe? Angalia
ndio nganyo mzuri.
Umeona mawe?
Hata ndio naona namulika hapa hivi hakuna mawe.
Anatembea.
Wacha niangalie upande huu mwingine pia. Hakuna mawe.
Iko Darfur.
Na biashara ya watu inaendelea vizuri.
Iko pale.
Tunafanya biashara.
Unawaambiaje watu wa Kisumu wakiendelea na maendeleo hii na maandamano?
Ate unasema
unawaambiaje vijana wa Kisumu sasa kwa vile wanaendelea na
maandamano vile tumemaandamana hivi.
Tumaandamane
vile tumemaandamana hivi.
Bila vita. Hivi watu wakifunga maduka hakuna mtu atutaki avunje duka ya mtu. kuharibu barabara, kuharibu biashara ya mtu ndio hatutaki.
Asanteni sana.
And when police came in Nyalenda, they never found people on the streets. So they had to go right into the estate. And that's where hell broke loose. So for me, that's not what I want to discuss here. I want to explain to you guys how the demonstrations has sealed the fate of those 7 members of parliament. Number one is because of the ethnic profiling. What Kimani Ichung'wah and the group are forgetting is that any moment they profile a Luo, the Luos will be profiled as a Luo. So even anybody like my friend Joshua Nyamori, who is in UDA, is also being profiled as a Luo. Any of them. And you see, Luos are watching these things and they are like, what are these guys trying to say? You see, the other day, the government issued a statement, and in that statement, they listed how 305 police officers were hurt. You ask yourself, 305 police officers in Kisumu doing what? You get? How properties were destroyed. Then you challenge them where those properties, they're not saying. Of course, there's that incident in Bondo where Chief's house was burnt down, and even the Bondo people have now started challenging whether the people who burned that house are actually demonstrators. But they failed to acknowledge innocent children, women, and even the demonstrators who lost their lives. You know, sometimes, even if you hate people, you just mention that we lost 20 or 30 lives. It ends there. But if you ignore completely the fact that there were deaths, then what are you trying to tell people? What are you trying to tell people? The truth of the matter is that even the people who lost their bloods, the ones Ochunga is talking about, there were Kisses. In Kisii, 3 people lost their lives. In Emali there, where Nolu was, I think 4 or 5 people lost their lives. In Nairobi, it spread. Almost all tribes lost their lives in Nairobi. I'm talking of the big 5 tribes in the Republic lost their lives. Some were just stray. So that profiling will make the Luo hate Kenya Kwanza, and that hate will extend to these members of parliament. Number 2, you know, when a community feels that they are under attack, what happens is that they unite to defend themselves. Something happened in Sondo, where the police were actually seen protecting youth from the other community who are trying to attack the Luos. Government did nothing until they realized that the next day William Ruto was going to Homa Bay. So the cabinet secretary came to Sondo in the morning so that he could go and talk in Homa Bay. The principal secretary, Raymond Omolo, never bothered to go to Sondo up to this point. So the Luo nation will be uniting because now they feel threatened. And the moment they will unite, those members of parliament will be isolated. They'll be told, okay, nyinyi ni betrayers. Number 3 is their failure to condemn this police brutality. You know, there's nothing which stopped Ojianda Tom, who is a lawyer, from calling a press conference. He could have just even agreed with Ruto that this is not politics. Let me also play politics. There's nothing which stopped him from calling for a press conference as a lawyer and condemn police brutality on his people of Nyalenda. You know, just saying, okay, the police have used excessive force on innocent citizen. Please stop. They never, up to this stage. Then tomorrow, he will go to Nyalenda to ask those people votes. Number 4, these demos have also exposed William Samoei Arap Ruto as the enemy of the Luos. Because William Ruto is trying to close his eyes to the Luos who lost their lives. So Luos are asking themselves several questions. Kwani sisi, are we not Kenyans? If you listen to William Ruto's speech yesterday in Mombasa, the Luo nation are asking, in fact from here I'm going to Bunge, Pale Central Square. They're asking themselves, Kwani? And lastly, they move by government to try and hide and failing to take responsibility for police brutality. In fact, if I were Ray Omolo, I'd have called for a press conference. You know, these are your people, you just defend them. I would have called for a press conference and issue a strong-worded statement to the police officers that each and every police officer will be held accountable and responsible for the brutality we witnessed in Kisumu here. You know, you can just call for a press conference like that. Well, deep down he knows that he's going to protect his people so that people can see. Then at the same time, warn. But if you claim that people were attacking police officers, were there evidence that Amze, who was sick, bedridden, could not walk, was beaten up, that a school-going children was found is in Russia with wounds, bullet wounds, and you go and say these people were attacking police. How do you attack police deep into kilo huko ndani? I don't know what you think, but I think for that, this Azimio in peace will find it rough to regain the confidence of the Luo nation. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.